And we're live, retrospectively. That's a nice Polish mug, Spencer.
Is it a Polish mug? I'm colourblind.
Oh, he's colourblind.
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
I don't know which way. Yeah. You actually measure. I'm not sure which way the red is. Is the red on top or is the
Oh no, on this the red is on the bottom, or at least I assume it is.
Yeah, I don't know if that's how the flag. Well, I'm not entirely.
I'm not tipping it up. It's not happening. You're not going to catch me out with that, old chestnut. I'll just turn it over so it looks like the Polish flag. You'll be wearing.
Yeah, but anyway, Dzień dobry, Kaczka, and many other Polish words. That's a swear words. Yeah, not that. Not that so much.
I'll tell you a funny story about that one day.
And welcome to episodes. Ironically, myself and Spencer first learnt to speak Polish in Mauritius.
In Mauritius, yeah.
There you go, as you do many moons ago. Welcome to episode 59 of the Chinwag podcast. We've not been around for a while. Well, we've been here. Where you lot been is the question.
Yeah. Where they've been hiding. They should have been there. Here. Exciting things have been happening.
Relatively, there was a festival of with a man with a white beard. I'm not talking about Comrade. I'm talking about Father Christmas.
Oh, right. Okay.
So that was very nice. Did you have a nice Christmas, Spencer?
I did. It was a very quiet one. Just me and the boy. Amy's over in Australia at the moment. She's gone over to see the in-laws. So yeah, it was a relatively quiet Christmas, but you know what? That's how I like it. I managed to get a nice bit of pinball in, have a bit of a peaceful time. You
did, and you have a new pinball machine?
I do. Well, actually, I don't have a new pinball machine. What I have is Champion Pub, which has been kindly lent through you by John, which is lovely and very kind of him. Big thank you to John for that. Great machine. Loving having it in the house. What I would call a good crowd pleasing machine. A lot of fun, an awful lot of fun.
Yeah, it is absolutely great, isn't it? So we swapped that over on a few days ago. Yeah, we can't have had it long.
I think it was New Year's Day.
It was New Year's Day. You're right.
We marked the turn of the new year with a new pinball.
New year, new pinball.
That's the phrase. That's what we like.
Absolutely. So we got and we spent a day filming, didn't we?
We did.
We filmed all the stuff on Godzilla. I say all the stuff. So first of all, we filmed Davy's wonderful Stumblor Pinball, sorry. But as Davy, as Davy to you, Stumblor to you, you little rippler. To me. So Davy, his wonderful Tokyo neon sign. We installed that and did a video. I was going to say a lovely video. Might not be lovely.
It might be awful. You just never know, do you?
That's true. We did a video on Wayne's flipper cooling fans.
We did. Wayne's little heatsink flipper cooling fans, which I was very...
These little heat-seeking missiles which blow up.
Yeah, they were little heat sinks.
Yeah, which cool down the fans and give you consistency of performance. Not the flippers.
Well, where else can you fit the fans?
Can you imagine if they did? Wow. Oh, you've been going a long time. Yeah, I got these new fans.
Yeah. Sorry about the wearing.
I know they're silent. This is half the thing. In fact, they really are silent because if you remember when we fitted these fans, do you remember? I actually had to open the coin door and push the buttons on the coin door, so it was still charged. It was still live in there, and I had my ear inside, didn't I? I was trying to.
You were faffing it. You didn't believe they were on, and then we finally proved it.
They were very quiet. So we did a bit of that. I fitted the art blade, Spence. I did that yesterday.
You fitted the art blades?
Yeah, mate.
Oh, bloody hell. Okay.
Undid a lot of your cable ties.
What was that about the cable ties?
I undid a few of your cable ties.
No.
Yeah, he went cable tie mad. Went bit of cable tie OCD from Spencer.
I had cable tie-itis. It was terrible. I nearly cable tied. The dog was cable tied. Chris was cable tied. Everything was cable tied.
If you go down to Screwfix or wherever you get your cable ties for, and they turn around and say, "I'm sorry, there's a national shortage of cable ties at the moment,"
because they're in Chris's Chris's machine.
Spencer is responsible for that. So yeah, I fitted that, and I fitted the Harry Monk fan as well. That was the quiet fan.
Harry Monk fan.
It's Pin Monk. It's called Pin Monk. That's
Of course it is.
No, it is. I don't think that's his real name. I don't think
you said Harry Monk.
Yeah, I did. But I thought nobody would notice. There you go. It's not that exciting, to be fair. But it's, as you know, if anybody's got a modern Spike 2 Stern machine, when the fan goes on, which is in the power unit, I've discovered this, it makes a hell of a noise, like a Boeing 747.
Sounds like a bloody Hoover kicking in. It's ridiculous. We were filming the other night, and we were just setting up with the cameras, and we had Godzilla just sat there, sort of doing
not the real Godzilla, the pinball machine.
No, he was in the garden. But the pinball machine, God, the row it made. Yeah,
that's the noise he does.
We like to go the extra mile. Thanks for that, Chris. How's it going?
Tokyo, New York, London, Bosch. What's the other one? Paris.
Yeah, he does well for something with really short arms. Answering the phone, anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyone pretend it's not me? I'll do it. I want to play Knockdown Ginger. I can't.
Typing would be interesting.
It's a great thing.
Silliness. But anyway, yeah, I was really impressed with Davies or Stumblor's Tokyo Neon mod. Wow, what a bit of kit! What a bit of kit!
Juicy, wasn't it?
I would go as far as to say I think that is the best mod I have seen on a pinball to date. There you go. I've said it.
He did just say it.
I did. I said it. And I meant it too.
It is magnificent. It is magnificent. It really is. It looks so good. It's so professionally done. It actually makes some other parts of the pinball machine look crap. It's almost.
Well, this is it.
It's almost too good. It's
Yeah, tell him that.
Absolutely.
Sorry, Davey. Your mods are too good, my friend. They make the rest of my machine look terrible.
No, because there's not all of it. I think the Mecha Godzilla model looks really good, and there are obviously lots of good things on the game. The game is an excellent game, but as you pointed out, there's the signs at the back, and Spencer Davey needs to do these now.
He does. I mean, this is it. It's really highlighted just how cheap and plasticky the standard stuff is. That mod suddenly transformed with the Mecha Godzilla as well, which isn't a bad area of the table. It's pretty well executed, with the exception of the flying saucer, which I'll be honest, I didn't even know was a flying saucer until I'd had the machine in the house for quite some time.
Yes. It's just a bit of plastic on top of the pop bumper, but it is meant to be a flying saucer. But that's getting salted as well. As I just want to say this now that Paul, and I haven't said this right, not Paul. I know how to say the word Paul. His avatar name is Jazzboosh. I think that's how we say it. Him and Davey are in conjunction. So I think he's using Davey's lollipops or ripplers or whatever he's doing, Davies electronic and wonderful lighting stuff to do that. And there's going to be a Godzilla mod as well. So yes, so that's getting fixed, the UFO. But you're right, it looks nothing. It just looks like just like a flat bit of plastic, doesn't it? Well,
it looks like a pop bumper. It's only when you really look at the detail around the edge of it, you go, oh yeah, shit, it's a flying saucer. That Neon Tokyo mod has transformed the machine. It's lifted the quality of that machine. Just that one modification has made a huge difference. Huge difference. I couldn't believe how much difference it made.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Davey, it's a lovely mod. We absolutely love it. 2 videos to come on that. First of all, I'm going to do a video on which we've not recorded yet, which will be all the modifications on there, a look around it, and that's going to obviously feature promptly. And we've also done like an installation silliness video as well. We were very impressed with Davies. I keep saying Davies, Stumblor's packaging.
Yeah, we managed to avoid a nasty discharge as well.
We absolutely did. So there's a video. So we've not been lazy, like we've done nothing. I've got a Jetsons video recorded, courtesy of Tony and Mike's wonderful Medway Pinball Club. They got a pinball and pizza evening, so please go and check that out. Sorry, day evening. That's coming up very, very soon as well. I've also started recording the series for the top 50, the top 50 pinball machines.
Have you? Well, that's good.
Well, yes, and also you've helped. To be fair, mate, you've done the graphics for it, so yeah, you know.
I did do the graphics. I know it's on its way, but I didn't know you'd actually started recording it. I can see above your left shoulder as we look at you, your right shoulder. I can see the board.
Yes, it's there.
Now I can't see what's on it. I can't see what's written on it, which is good. But I can see you've been doing some work on it, and there's some machines up there already.
Yeah, well, there's the magnets are up there already. So so I'm pleased with that. But yeah, so and what I've got was, so here's the premise behind that. There's going to be a new machine. Basically, every machine's going to have its own independent video. And at the end of it, we'll discuss it. We'll discuss the criteria that we've got, and then it will go onto the board. But rather than the very first video being basically just an empty board, the first video will feature 3 machines.
Yeah.
So, so the first, I will tell you now, the first 3 machines, because it's no point having an empty board. You want 3 to go on there, and then afterwards, it's where things come in comparison. So the first 3 machines, I think I probably can reveal now. It will be Medieval Madness, will be Judge Dredd, and will be Popeye. Will be the first 3 machines up on the board.
Interesting mix.
Yeah, I'm with two wide bodies on there, but it just seemed they are. Well, first of all, thinking Medieval Madness is a great and a classic machine. So I think there's going to be an interest in terms of hopefully what is going to finish above Medieval Madness. I wanted to have a high flyer up there straight away.
Well, Medieval Madness has been rated very highly for quite a long time, and I think it's going to be interesting to see where machines rate amongst that. Really.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's
even I'm interested to see where you rate things. I'm very interested to see where Popeye goes, because that's the one machine that you had that I never got a go on. I've never had a go on a Popeye.
Yeah, well, the trouble is I did actually put a little thing out there recently. Has anyone got a Popeye? Because I'd like to go and have a go on one, just to sort of refresh it. And when I had Popeyes before, I had that much footage here. So, for instance, when I do Stranger Things, I got loads of footage for it. When I got Adventures Infinity Quest, we'd already started doing a channel yet. I'd already started recording it. So I don't have a ton of footage for Judge Dredd. I don't have a ton of footage for Popeye. So it sort of makes sense that it's not like I'll skim over it. And in fact, I actually spoke to Craig and I said, Craig, would you mind giving me basically 60 seconds on each machine? So at the end of the day, it's my top 50 and it will go where I think. But I just wanted an additional on every video. I want an additional opinion because I am
absolutely.
You know what it's like, Spence. If you go and want to buy something online, you'll go and watch as many reviews as I've just done it recently. I'm trying to get like a ceiling thing for the roof on my car, and there's a lot of different products you can buy. And so I watched 6 or 7 YouTube videos to find out which was the best one. So I'm sort of aware, just in case someone's thinking of it, they might watch one of these videos. It's important. It's not just my opinion on it. So so I asked Craig to say some words on, on his opinion. Absolutely, obviously. It was about the pinball machine as well.
Yes, just on Life, the Universe and everything. I'm assuming he likes those machines.
Well, you can assume all you want. I mean, you'll have to wait until the video.
Well, I'm going to watch with bated breath.
Yeah, so that and then once we're up and running with that, that'll be really good. That's good. I've got unfortunately I had to cancel Wayne coming over. Wayne was due to be coming over on the 28th, which was going to be really good fun. But it wouldn't have been because, well, as you know, I was ill.
You were as sick as a dog. Absolutely sick as a dog.
So I had to cancel Keith coming up. Keith was coming up as well, and I had to cancel Wayne. So Wayne.
Well, I got put off until New Year's Day. We were supposed to be getting together between Christmas and New Year, and it didn't happen because you were sick. I didn't want the illness anyway.
No, you didn't. So Wayne will be coming down soon. I think. Well, not. I don't think next week. Yen is coming down, which will be really, really good. Because I think he's going to be the first one. This was Steve's idea. Steve New, who's he on the forum? London based, lovely guy. So it's Steve's idea, not just to do the top 50. Everybody that comes round here plays a game one game on Deadpool and their score goes up.
So it's a bit like Star on a reasonably priced car, but
Is that
Pinhead on a...
So what would the top 50 be? The top 50 would be like the fastest cars, wouldn't it? That's like when I get the super.
Well, that's the Stig's lap time, really.
That's the Stig's lap time.
Now you've got Star on a reasonably priced car, or Pinhead on a reasonably priced table.
Extortionately overpriced table. Full of cheap components. That one. Yes, if we're going to do that, we'll do that one. So I think he might not even wait. He'll know when he watches this. So he'll be the first to do that. So he'll be the first.
So what machine are you going to have them on?
Deadpool. Because I think
it's going to be Deadpool.
Deadpool.
Okay.
Deadpool should always be here. Got Batman's out on loan at the moment with Alan because obviously I've got Alan's Munsters and I've got his World Cup Soccer. We've just got Godzilla back, and I'm not averse to loaning machines out. I think obviously John's got Aerosmith as well. You know, I like the loaning out machines, but I think Deadpool's going to be here for a while, and I just so I think that'd be a good one. Then when Wayne comes over, Wayne can try and
I can see these boys getting quite competitive, competitive.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm really
you're go on.
No, go on. You carry on.
I was going to say, so you're going to put all the settings so that it's as difficult as it can be, are you?
No, I'm not going to do that, actually. I'm not going to make it as difficult, but what I will do is I'll keep the settings that I've got on it, but I will turn extra balls off. Because that's
probably a good idea.
I haven't got to remember it every time. I just know, because I will, obviously when I play, it's my game. I want sort of maximum enjoyment out of it, but I will turn extra balls off. And I just think it's just important when I do my game, because I'll obviously want to be, because I'm competitive, obviously. I'll want to do it. But I'll make sure someone is here that can adjudicate it as well, and so then they can take down my score. But yes, the settings will stay the same. But I also want I want people to be able to get quite far on it. So I think it may be. So for instance, there's a little thing on it whereby I think the ball save is not 5 seconds, or so. I think the ball save is 7 seconds, and I haven't got it set on the factory settings. It's kinder than it would be out the box, certainly. But I'm going to turn extra balls off, and maybe I might make it just like a 4-ball game or something.
I think a 4-ball game might be the way forward. I'm a big fan of 4-ball games. I think it's a good number of balls to have.
So there you go. Quite right. There we go. Anyone for a twanger? Anyway,
I love a twanger.
Spencer. So when we were installing Wayne's flipper cooling system, we noticed an discrepancy with the fan sizes. With the coil sizes on Godzilla.
Oh, ridiculous. So on Godzilla, the left-hand fan is one size. The left-hand flipper coil is one size. The right-hand flipper is another one. And the upper seems to be a third size. So we've got 3 flippers with at least 2, if not 3, different sizes of coil on them. Now, considering that these days the coils can have their power settings altered through the software, it does strike me as a bit of a weird thing to do, not to standardize the coils on the machine. I mean, you look at the Bally Williams; they use the same bloody coils everywhere. There's all your flipper coils are exactly the same. It's sod's law on Godzilla that if you have a coil burn out or a coil decides to die for some reason, you're now going to have to keep 3 sizes of coil on hand just in case one of them goes. And if you don't do that, it's sod's law. When one of them does go, it'll be the one you haven't got.
I was really surprised how much smaller the right-sided coil was to the left one. And we're talking about the main, not the upper one, but the 2 main flippers at the bottom. One of them is the left one is significantly bigger than the right one. But
it's like a fiddler crab. It's got one enormous flipper.
It's true.
And then one tiny, tiny little one. It's not good.
It wasn't perspective either. We weren't stood on the left-hand side, so it looked bigger because it was closer to us. We did some science and stuff.
Yeah, we measured it and everything. But But yeah, it did. You know, if this is an economy measure, then come on, guys. There's no need.
Okay, well, all right. Well, look, that segues quite nicely talking about economy measures. I think we should, 20 minutes in to the video, I think we should probably discuss, if I don't even remember which one's which, I think it's probably only right that we discuss what appears to be the most expensive pinball machine around at the moment. You thought it was expensive when Elvira's 40th
Elvira's 40th
came out. You thought it was expensive.
How, out of interest, I can't remember now.
I can't remember. It was expensive. Someone will let us know in the comments for sure. You thought it was expensive when Toy Story released their Super Duper. JJP Toy Story 4 Super Duper edition was very expensive. This has set a whole new standard. By the way, I'm talking about pricing standards here, not build quality. And here it is. It's the 60th edition James Bond, which we should point out for those that you don't know. I know you all do, otherwise you wouldn't be watching this video. But just on the off chance that you don't, Stern's latest release is James Bond. They have the license for James Bond. And as is normal, they will bring out a pro version of the machine, a premium version of the machine, and a limited edition version of the machine, which incrementally, each one will carry more stuff on it than the other.
Cost more money.
Well, yes, it will cost more money. And each one has slightly bigger coils.
Yeah, I wonder if that's the difference.
The Pro is a little T-Rex coil. It's a little Godzilla coil, isn't it? It can barely make it up the playfield. Anyway, so what will happen is a designer will design the machine, and there'll be various versions of it. What Stern have decided to do with this one is they're a completely separate machine. So an additional special edition, which is not a limited edition, James Bond machine with a James Bond license. And this one is by a different designer. So the standards lineup was made by George Gomez. There's this other special edition, which has been designed by a lot of people's favorite designer, which is Keith Elwin. I think I've got some footage here, which should there you go. So it's a 60th anniversary edition. What are you thinking, Spence?
Wow. I pretty much fell off my chair when I saw this.
Craig David's on there, which is a bonus.
Well, that's always nice. I mean, the artwork, it's okay. I mean, it is a 60th anniversary edition. You would expect it to pay homage to all the Bonds, and I think it delivers that. It's got some interesting bits on it, like the Union Jack on the plunger. I do like
twanger, please,
on the twanger. Sorry, on the twanger. It has on the back glass there. It's got stepper motor reel scoring, so it's got some very old school scoring that has been updated for the for modern times with stepper motors. No ramps, and it's got a couple of interesting shots. It's got a figure of 8 shot there. It's got the drop targets that we're looking at now with a saucer behind those. I'm not overly impressed, I have to say. In general, I think for the money, it needs to be more than it is. There's a lot of factors going on here. I think they've only made 500 of them. I think they sold out within hours of them going on sale. I think the price point in the US is $20,000. I read somewhere in Spain they're going for 28,000 euros. They're already starting to appear on the.
That's only about a fiver, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It certainly wasn't pesetas.
It's not pesetas. It's certainly not small pesetas, I can tell you. They're already starting to be flipped in the United States. There have been adverts coming out showing them at $25,000, $30,000. So you do have to wonder whether people are buying them speculatively or in order to flip them on because the numbers are so low. Personally, I pretty much fell off my chair when I saw the price of it.
Well,
I had to go for a look.
Not enough, clearly. I can see you sat down.
Yeah, well, I ended up going for a little walk around the garden. I think. I mean, I've got a prop here that sums up my feeling on this particular pinball.
Go on, see the prop.
I have here a coil of old rope.
Okay, would you like some money? Would you like some money for that?
And I think I'd like £20,000 for it, please. £25,000. I don't get it. I don't get it. I can see what they've done, but I don't see what good it does. It's a machine that hardly anybody is going to be able to own. Keith Elwin fans are not going to be able to collect. In fact, most people will never get the opportunity to even play one. It can't be used in competitions because not enough people have enough experience on it to be competitive. And it will give those very, very lucky people that do have one a massive edge. I don't get it. What are your thoughts?
Well, look, I don't mind. They've gone down the exclusive route with this one. But there's two things I don't mind. Number one, I don't mind that it doesn't have any ramps. I really like Tateball Deluxe. I like Dolly Parton. I'm getting into that, but it seems like a throwback to an older game, like an older, an early solid state game or an electromechanical game. I'm absolutely fine with that. I saw the 3 drop targets. I like that stuff now. I do.
See, I don't have a problem with the style of the machine. What I do have a problem with is that style of machine at that price point. If you want those features, they're all available pretty much on other machines.
Well, yes. So there's I think with this, and look, Stern could do what they want. All right, Stern are a business, and it's there to make money. Absolutely, they can. And not only Stern can do what they want, it's worth the 4 machines that I have are all Sterns. So, I do like a Stern machine. Don't get me wrong at all. But they seem to be going in a certain direction. In fact, allow me just to, if I may, pull up something which I stole off of Wayne, who posted this on the forum on Pinball Info. I say that, I can't bloody find the thing. So this is Stern's pricing. Now, you may well see what it's doing there. There's obviously a jump between Metallica and Star Trek. There was a jump between Ghostbusters and Batman 66, but I think that tells a little lie because it went back down for Aerosmith. That's because Batman 66 was a Kapow game, right? Yeah. So they didn't do a pro version, which is obviously going to impact that. And I think that also happened with Beatles as well, which is not a fair comparison. However, there's no doubt about it. Stern have put their prices up massively, and I think that's we could go into it in detail, but the last couple of years these prices are going up now. And I sort of made this point with the Elvira one, and I think it was the 40th edition. What I was gobsmacked was that was whatever it was, £18,000 or something like that, and there still wasn't a topper on it. And Stern already at this point were making toppers. And here's my problem. I don't know much about cars. I'm going to give a car analogy. You know far more about cars than I do, so please correct me if I'm wrong and put me back on track. I'll use a car analogy. So I've got no problem with anyone making a super duper edition of anything.
No, I don't.
Let's say I want to go and buy a BMW, right? So I can go and buy, I think it's a hatchback. Is it called a 1 Series? It's their small car. So I can go and buy a 1 Series with a 1.4 litre engine or whatever. I might have it slightly wrong. Yeah. I can go and buy a small car that's affordable, which gets me from A to B. Basically, I can own a BMW. That's absolutely lovely, right? But if what I want is the prestige model, like the M4, M5, is that right? So are they motorways? They are. Was it?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's their prestige model. I've got that right, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. At that point, I am expecting. So the budget one, I'm not expecting it to be the best car in the world, right? That's for me. That's on a budget. what I want if I buy that M5 is I want the very best car that BMW can make.
Yeah,
that's what I want. And I understand the price is going to be really, really high. It's going to be the most expensive BMW I can buy. That's my analogy on it. I don't think this is the best pinball machine that Stern can make.
no.
And let me just go back to it, and just as we have a little look through it here. I think the topper looks okay. I think the artwork is
Unimaginative.
It is unimaginative. I think it looks like they've just slapped it on there. The armor, okay, they've done a laser cutout. They could have done so much better with that armor. They really could have. My point is, I want everything to be the best on this machine.
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head when you talked about Elvira, because what you did to your Elvira machine elevated it well beyond anything that Stern had done.
Absolutely.
And you know how much that cost. So when you're looking at the bill of materials involved in taking a machine to that next level, to that £18,000 price tag, you're looking at bespoke artwork. You're looking at custom painting. You're looking at all sorts of creative input on it and quality of materials. Going back to your car analogy, when you're buying a German car from BMW, you are actually getting a very high quality car, even if you get a base model. What you get with the upper models, and the more you start to pay, is for higher specification of fixtures, fittings, and finishes. And then you get to the other extreme where you're paying, hundreds of thousands of pounds for a car. You actually seem to get less, but you're actually getting better engineering. You're getting lighter weight materials and carbon fiber. What we seem to be seeing with Stern is a huge increase in price point with not much going in on the back end of it. I nearly swore there. I nearly swore.
Well, if you look at I've just paused it here. The thing around the twanger, right? The twanger housing, whatever it's called. People are screaming at me now saying it's got a name. That thing that says Stern on it in the middle there, where you got the Union Jack twanger, and then in the middle of it, you got the spring, and then you've got this housing. Can you see the cursor, Spencer? When I'm doing that, is the cursor on?
No, I can't see the cursor on that. Only you can see that, but it's right in the centre of the shop.
Exactly. That is unacceptable. There it is there. There it is there. That's unacceptable. That is a bog standard bit of Stern kit.
Yep.
Powder. I know it's powder coated, but you know what I'm saying? Do something with it. Do something special. Make that special. Okay.
Have that embossed. Have a, for God's sake, you're making 500 of them. Get a decent casting in.
Absolutely. Even stuff like the drop targets there, they're just sort of standard drop targets there. Okay, it's gone into there. We all know with the saucers and the scoops, they get damaged. All right. And I understand that Cliffy is just somebody that makes these things for Stern. Why is that not protected? That's just going to wear out over time. My point being, this is not the best. I mean, even, I don't know if you saw back there, you can actually see the circuit boards to the left of that spinner. On all of the spinners, you can actually see the circuit boards, yeah? If I just pull that back a little bit, maybe, there you go. Can you see the spinner to the right of it? There's a circuit board there, right? I don't want to see the circuit board if I'm paying £25,000. I don't want to see this. Make the very best thing you can. And without labouring the point, I just don't think that Stern, sorry, I can't find it. Where's us? There we go. There we are. I just don't think that Stern have done that at all. And I think that's shame on them. But here's the point. I do think it leaves a void because it's quite clear where they're going with this. And I think it leaves a void there. And we're going to get onto a game in a moment, which I think will exploit that. Because whenever you do something like that and you start creating things that people aren't going to be able to afford, again, which is fine. If your Excel model is just wonderful, it's fine. But what you do is you create a vacuum, and that vacuum can very quickly become filled. And what Spooky are doing with Scooby Doo seems to be that they are producing. Now, somebody needs to capitalize on this. Now, it might be Chicago Gaming Company that does it, but just waiting in the wings. Can they produce as many games as Stern? No, they can't.
No.
But they're already look to be beating them on quality.
Can they beat them on quality, and can they beat them on attention to detail, and can they beat them on value for money? Yes, they can on all three accounts.
Yeah, but they need to get the games out there. What I just want to say, but before that, I actually like that game. By the way, I do like that game. That James Bond.
It's not a bad game.
I'd like, I was going to say I'd like to play it. By the way, you can, believe it or not, you can play this game if you join Pinball Republic in January. You have to have joined and become a member in January. They are going to have a James Bond evening. I say evening, it might be a day. Excuse me if there's some discrepancy. I'll put the link below for Pinball Republic, formerly known as Flip Out. Neil has purchased one of these. I think he's might also purchased an LE. And what he's doing is, you basically, if you're a Pinball Republic member from January, you're going to be able to play these machines. He's going to have a day where these are open, so you'll never get a chance to play one of these. So I think that's absolute. I mean, it's very, very generous of Neil.
That is incredibly generous. I mean, I have a sneaking suspicion that the vast majority of these machines are either going to go into a collection and be virtually unplayed, because I don't think anybody is going to want to put up a huge amount of plays on them. Either that, or they're going to be bought just to flip on to, pardon the pun, to flip on to other collectors. And I think what Neil's doing is very kind, actually. I think it's a very kind move to allow people to have a go on a machine that is going to, I dare say, I think there's a fair chance it's going to accrue in value significantly over the years. I think it will be a good investment. There are obviously other people who will have bought these machines and they will never come out of their wrapping. There will be some
just to sell it on.
There will be some, and they'll sit on it for 10 years. I mean, even now there are still Adams families that crawl out of the woodwork that are still new in box. But as I said before, there are adverts appearing in America at the moment with people selling them for $25,000, $30,000. Just trying to put $5,000-$10,000 on the price just to flip them on for a bit of extra money. And if you've got, in the case of the US, if you've got 20 grand just sat around to invest in something, take a punt on it. You'll get your money back easily, and a bit more for nothing.
Yeah. I do go back to. So, by the way, do check that out if you want to get going on these. You're going to need to join Pinball Republic. And by the way, Pinball Republic can do with all the help that they can get at the moment. They had a flood over Christmas. Fortunately, none of the machines.
Did they?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
What happened?
I think one of the pipes burst or something like that. I've spoken to Matt. Fortunately, none of the machines got damaged. They managed to get in there literally just before Christmas. But yeah, they're in need of a new boiler. There's a lot of people.
So, they need support. They need support.
They do. So yeah, it would certainly be helpful if they got some new signups in January. And you look at the exclusivity of pinball now, and it's becoming more and more. This is the top model that we're speaking about here, but even at the base model. Even buying second-hand games, it's all becoming so more expensive, and a lot of people's only way that they can play pinball is to go to these clubs, and they have never been more needed or more welcome than they are now. And
I have to wholeheartedly agree with that, and I think as the prices go on,
everyone, and what these people do at Pinball Republic, or be it Tony and Mike, or down at Special When Lit, or they are up at Steve up at Electric Circus, Chris, who's got this wonderful it's the Officers Club, isn't it? Is that right? Is Chris has got a wonderful collection there, and again he's another one. He puts his stuff out there and says, "There you go. Here's my machines. They're all in lovely, Nick.
Very kind. Very kind.
Come and play. Come and play them. These people. It's a hell of a thing. To have something and have something of that much value, and then to say, I'm going to share it with you. And
I think the sharing side of it is incredibly good. It is incredibly good.
Absolutely.
It should be applauded.
I was like you with your pizza with me the other day.
It was. I cooked you a pizza and you ate it. I mean, what are friends for?
There you go.
I can't believe you ate my cooking.
yeah, for sure.
It's very kind of you, Chris.
Yeah, well, I am generous indeed, like that. But I do, just coming back to the game itself, I do look at it and I think that is not the best. You go to a top restaurant, you want the best meal you can possibly get. If it was me overseeing that, the moment you're going to spend ask for tens of thousands, I'd get the best artist in to do it. No offense, they didn't for that, right?
No,
and I don't mean there's any offense to whoever did the artwork on that, right? It's a bit of cut and pasting going there, a bit of very basic.
Well, without being too facetious about it, I could do better with photoshopping in about 2 hours than they did. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Absolutely. I would be looking at the armor saying, what can we do with this? I'd be getting the best guys in to do it. I'd
have airbrushed armor.
Oh, of course.
Beautiful airbrushed armor.
Had the black armor on it. I know they'll get away with it. Oh, well, it's James Bond. Black's part of the color. No. I mean, honestly, if that was me, and I was going to at that point start charging that much money, I'd be saying I actually want that pinball machine to look like an Aston Martin. I really do.
There's so much.
It's going to be silver. It's going to be. I want little missiles coming out the front.
Yeah, even to do the armor with a couple of Walther PPKs firing a bullet with a streak up the anything like that. There's so much you could do with airbrushing on it, and it's
with all of it, and to get. I don't mean, as I say, I like this. I'm really getting into my older games. So, the lack of ramps and all the rest of it, not a problem.
That's not an issue.
If you're going to make a simple game, make a simple game. But to actually get Keith Elwin in, who's an innovator of shots and ramps and all these different things, is a bit like having, getting a day's experience with Lewis Hamilton, and then and all avenues are open to you, and you ask him to drive you down to Co-op. You know what I mean? I just, that the best designer in the world, and you've got him to do that.
Yeah, it's not right, is it? It's not right.
You've not used him to his full potential. That's what I want. Shots I've never seen before, and a beautiful game. Anyway, I do want to say one more thing before I start. I just want to go back to Stumblor and Davey. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just before, because I know it doesn't particularly segue well into it, but if I don't say it, I don't want to forget it. We have something called the Twipys coming up. Now, the Twipys are the annual Pinball Awards, and Davey Stumblor, Little Riddler, is up for Best Mod.
Does that mean he wears a fishtail?
He didn't get put forward for best rocker.
That's a shame.
And his Tokyo Neon sign is up for best mod. Now, again, I'm going to put a link in the description below. I'd love him to win it.
Yeah,
I'd absolutely love him to win it. For him to have the title of internationally, to in a world of pinball, to have made the best mod. The modification of a pinball machine, I think, would be absolutely magnificent. Now he's batting against it. He really is, because there's a lot of. He's obviously the US company is going to get a lot of support. But for someone from the UK to be able to win this would be magnificent. So I've actually already voted on this. Now there is also somebody else I also want to mention who is on the forum, which is Vimto Man. Now, unfortunately, I can't attest to how good Vimto Man's modifications are because I don't have the game. I've got a Godzilla, so I've got Davies. I've got the Neon mod. I haven't got an Alien, so I don't have. Apparently, it's an apron modification. I haven't got it. I'm sure it's really, really good. But so what I did do is, I will be honest, I did vote for Davey first, and then I voted for Vimto Man. I haven't seen his mod, but he's from the UK, and I just really wanted to support them, and I just. So there you go. It's a little bit of representing. Unfortunately, Pinball Info was not on there, and I'd love to have seen that on there. I'd love to see Pinfest on there as best event. I'd like to see Neil's Pinball Open getting a bit of credit on there as well. But alas, not to be. But we can go on there and support the guys that are doing fantastic work in the UK. And I'd love to see Davey win that. So please do check out the link below. And I say the link below, literally under this screen, whether you're watching it on a mobile or on your laptop, there'll be a little body of text. It's probably in a drop down menu. If you just click on that, it'll drop down. And I think Davey's even made a link because he's crafty like that. And I think it might say stumblor.com/Twipy, something like
he's
that.
done something like that.
He's clever,
we'll put the link down below. I don't know whether you noticed that while you were talking, Crumpet the Wonder Dog made an entrance.
I didn't see. I didn't
he
see.
stuck his nose up at the side here.
Oh, there you go. Has he figured out where I've thrown that teddy bear yet?
Yeah, it's at the bottom of the stairs.
Absolutely.
He's
found out the old. Oh, no, not really. I've thrown it over there.
Good old Crumpet the Wonder
Where's it gone? Right, okay. So
he's back again. He's back again. Right,
hello,
hang on a sec. Do you need to go outside? Do you want to go on your bed? Right. On your bed?
Do you need to go for a wee, do you, Spence?
No, not me. The dog. He's come and asked me for something. He'll be on his bed for a little while.
Lovely.
Poor Crumpet. Right. Okay.
Absolutely. Right. Okay. So that's that. We were talking about voids and
the great blackness.
I'm glad that's the avenue you went down then, basically.
Yes, that's right. I was kind to you.
Yeah, you were. So we were talking about vacuums being created, and what I really meant was if Stern seemed to be, looking at this, making more, sort of expensive pinball. We've seen their price. Their price are clearly going up. There is scope for somebody who's keeping their prices lower down, and certainly Spooky are one of those, and obviously Chicago Gaming Company, and they become real options. I really do think so, and I was really blown away by Scooby-Doo. Oh my goodness. No, it's not right. You haven't seen a Scooby snack like that before. Scooby. Let's just.
I've been taking a look at this machine, and I have to say, I'm bloody impressed. Now, I made a bold and brash statement as we always do, and said I would probably after Cactus Canyon never buy a new in box. But you know what? I am very, very, very tempted by Scooby-Doo. There is so much going on it. I mean, look at that. They've even got laser cut armor on there. There you go. Well done, Spooky Pinball.
Yeah, and on the it's not just there, Spence. If I drag it back, it was on the hinges. I'm sure
it was on the hinges. I mean, look at that.
And they powder coated it. It's coloured. Yes. Carry on. Sorry,
There is so much going on with this. There's some really fresh ideas going on. There's as stuff comes up on the screen. I didn't realise you were going to be running the video with it, but we've got 5 wireframes on it. We've got at the top end. If you just pause it there a sec.
Well, do you want to see the upper playfield again?
Yeah, if you can go back to that, there's something called a bookcase diverter, which is a really interesting flipper. If you go back a little bit further. There you go. Now, just there, that's it. Now, on the left-hand side of that upper playfield, there's this weird flipper that they call a diverter. Now, there isn't a diverter as most people would imagine it. It's a cross between a ball diverter and a flipper. It kind of doubles up. And it's an intuitive bit of kit. If you run the video, you can see it working. And as you can see, it allows the ball to go down behind it. There's a toy up at the top there, a bash toy, which is Captain Cutler. And that looks to be a glow-in-the-dark bash toy. And in front of him, underneath
Can I button, Spence? Sorry,
I know.
I've just got to say this. This is the type of detail I am talking about.
Absolutely.
This is going the extra mile. Sorry,
yes.
Carry on.
So you've got Captain Cutler at the top. Now, not only is he glow-in-the-dark, he's made of a glow-in-the-dark material, but there are magnets in front of where his hands are positioned on that upper playfield. So there's a magnetic diverter up there as well. There's a 5-ball multi-ball on it. There's 3 banks of drop targets. There's 2 lots of 3 banks of drop targets. There's another interesting feature. Oh, just pause it there. Yeah, dual apron locks. Now, the outer wireframes drain down to these really weird-looking sort of batwing apron ball locks that are either side of the flippers, and they feed back up to the flippers. Now, when you've locked 2 balls, and I don't know under what circumstances they do this, when you've locked 2 balls, they will actually fire both of the balls so that they cross over and then land on the alternate flipper. It's great. I think it actually shows that if you press play on it. You watch this. Yeah, that's it. That's lovely. Nice. No, not the most exciting pinball moment, but if you just pause it there as well. Not the most exciting pinball moment, but still intuitive and an interesting feature. We've got a whole load going on with this. We've got the Captain Cutler Bash Toy Magna Hands, which is the magnets underneath. I didn't see the Upper Playfield Secret Passage. Don't know what that is. Pop-up Scooby in a barrel. There you go. We've always wanted a pop-up Scooby in a barrel.
Well, this is the thing. You never knew you wanted one until you saw it.
Oh, I want one now.
This is the theme I never knew I wanted.
Well, 200 RGB LEDs. Now, one thing that they don't make a big song and dance about is a lot of the physical things like the drop targets, for instance. A lot of them are clear with RGB LEDs mounted beneath them so that they can color change drop targets. There's a lot of color change features on the playfield itself where, like I say, they've used the clear and gone with an RGB underneath it. A knocker and a shaker. Oh, there you go.
There you go. Beautiful.
As they mentioned it here, RGB LED action button, RGB LED flipper buttons, custom launch button, powder coated bill door, easy slide brackets. Don't know what that's all to do with. Direct print cabinet, that's interesting, and the Spooky Ghost logo hinges. They've gone to town on this. There's an awful lot of gameplay features. There's an awful lot of build features on it. I think it's lovely. I am very, very tempted. Its artwork is fantastic. It really. It's almost like looks like they've got the Hanna-Barbera team in to draw it. It's very well done. It's meticulously sort of delivered. Really, it replicates the original artwork beautifully. I love it. It's fantastic. As you say, it's the game that I wasn't expecting to want, and now I can't do without.
Yeah, it's. I just think it's set the standard. You can never tell until you've played a game. You can never tell. You can't. So that's the first thing. But some of them, when you see a reveal video, just grab you more than others, and that I thought was something very, very special. And
it is.
And I talk about Stern actually. Probably just moved the goalpost just slightly on this, and that is Jersey Jack and Toy Story. And the reason I want to pick up on that one is because, you might say they're both childlike themes. Obviously, the generation that we're watching Scooby-Doo are a lot older than the generation that we're watching Toy Story.
That's me.
It's me as well. But it's nonetheless, you're still looking. It's not Metallica, is it? That's my point.
No.
So you're still a children. I say. Crumpet trying to sing a bit. I tell you what, that's more truthful than Metallica, to be fair.
You mentioned Metallica, that dog goes nuts.
Absolutely. What I think is with those games, you can go and sort them out if you want, mate. I'm going
to go and sort him out.
While Spencer's going and sorting Crumpet out, which just sounds very, very wrong. The thing I would say about that is with Toy Story should be looking at that and JJP and looking at how packed that is, at how good the models are. but the Scooby-Doo in a barrel, the van. So there's that fortunate. I know there's no Scrappy Doo. A lot of people are very pleased that there's no Scrappy Doo, but just all the models that are on there are really, really nicely done, and they just look like they've been well painted. They don't look like, sort of cheap bits of plastic. It just looks really well done. There's probably more wireforms than they need on there. There's innovation. The artwork looks good. And if I was JJP and I'd be looking at the price point of that and the price point of what I was asking for Toy Story, then I do. And I thought Toy Story was all right. I actually enjoyed playing it. Let me get that right, by the way. I did enjoy playing it.
Yeah, I enjoyed Toy Story. I have to say, I mean, well, one thing I would like to add about those wireforms, I don't agree. I think the wireforms are, 5 wireforms is one for each character. And I think
no. Sorry, I don't mean too many. I mean more than they needed to do. I love it. I'm not criticizing them. I mean, if it was anyone else, they could have got away with 2. They haven't. They've gone, right, we're having loads of it. And you get the impression, going back to it, they look like they've made the best pinball machine that they can.
Yes,
and that'll do for me.
Yeah, one thing I would like to mention. I mean, I've got this up on the screen in front of me. The DMD on it, the LCD screen on it. It looks like you've almost got a map of an island, and on this island you've got all of the mysteries that you're investigating. Now that allows you to. It gives it some context. Again, with Scooby-Doo, you always harp on about the theme leading you through the game. My hope is
the theme has to be a guide. Yes, I
think that by putting a map on that screen, and actually each point on the map, you can choose where to go and which mystery to investigate next. I think it's going to lead you through the game quite nicely.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, look, to be fair, it's not Stern would say Godzilla have got a map, which it has. Jurassic Park's got a map. Absolutely. But yeah, I mean, there's so much to enjoy that it looks like on here. I just think when you look at the price point, it's almost a non-decision. The only trouble is I think you have to wait a long time if you order one. I think you're looking at 2024. And I just think if they could sort that out, and obviously you've been waiting a long time for your Cactus, if they could sort that out, companies like Spooky and companies like CGC could really exploit.
They could clean up. Yeah.
Well, I don't have to clean up, but they could gain new customers, and they could gain customers who perhaps become disenchanted with certainly Stern and with JJP, because you do get the impression that they've tested it and just how far can we push it? And by testing how far you can push a price point, you're testing how far you can push your customers.
Well,
and a lot of customers don't like that. I don't like that. I mean, okay, why you've been testing that out? Actually, you've annoyed me. And because
not only are they pushing the price, but they're reducing the quality, and they're making some rather interesting and weird decisions to do with that. And from a personal point of view, I think you're absolutely right. Personally, I would rather choose CGC and Spooky over Stern. For that very reason.
Well, of course, the pinball machines are really, really good. But if they seem like they're valuing your custom more, you want to spend money with them, don't you? If you had some money, I'd rather give it to you than you lot who seem not to care. And I say about seem not to care. You know what this is, Spence?
I can't see it. Yes. Yeah.
So not only do I do my art blades, and the Harry Monk fan, right? I also replaced this because it wasn't working on Godzilla. And in the end, I actually bought one. I never had an email back from Stern in the whole time. I never had an email back from and because basically the buttons weren't working.
Yeah, I remember you saying. I mean, it's pretty disgusting that.
Now there is a thing. There is
machine cost.
Oh well, whatever. I don't know, whatever. 10, 11,000. I don't know. Lot of money. I don't know what they cost now, and it's so simple, right? And there is some advice out there on what you do if you have a problem with this. Is you take out you take out the connector, the molar connector, whatever it is, and there's a little circuit board inside, which you probably can't see because I've not got the best light here, but inside there's a circuit board there. There's a couple of clips. If you take out the circuit board, and then what you can do is there's a couple of connectors there, and then you use some alcohol, not Guinness, but use some alcohol. You can clean it up, right? And then you pop it back in, and what it is, the connectors are a bit dirty. I don't want that. I wouldn't expect it with a £300 fridge if it wasn't keeping the food cold. I wouldn't expect Hotpoint to advise me. What you need to do is unscrew the back, take out the circuit board, just give it a little clean up with a cotton bud and a bit of alcohol. I don't want to. No. I don't want to. And to be fair, these clips holding it in, I probably could have got out, but they felt so firm. I felt I was going to snap the circuit board. And the moment you think and you've got to force it, there's a lot of obviously delicate components on there. So basically, what's happening when you're pressing the buttons, it's not registering because the metal contact is a bit dirty. So you need to clean it with some alcohol. After months of having no reply from Stern, I actually bought one, not from Stern, from a third party. Actually bought one, by the way, and I fitted it, and it works lovely now. But my point being on all of this, if you look after your customers, they're going to think better of you. You know.
Yeah. It's basic customer service. Customer service.
And it's not just that, but if you can demonstrate, I just think there is an opportunity there, and I think the market needs it. And I think the reason you get this is because they've had a monopoly for so long. They probably feel that they can see how far they can push things. And anyway, that's that. Just a couple of other. So anyway, that being said, back down to the standard, not the standard ones, but the normal James Bond. That does look like a hell of a game. I've got to say. It does
look like it's going to be a good, fun game, to be honest.
And the assets are coming out now. So they've George Gomez has said that actually they have assets to all the films there apparently as well. So actually when that comes in, I think once that music starts playing, you start seeing the film, the scenes from the film on there. Silver Paul went over to the States and he played it, and he says it's actually a really good game, which is no surprise to me because I think Gomez is a hell of a designer. So I think you're going to find that James Bond is a very, very good game. But there's I mean this metaphorically. There's repair work to be done with the custom base. I do think it's going to be a very, very good pinball machine. But it needs to be because, as I'll tell you now, if what you had in a line was that at that price, Scooby-Doo and Cactus Canyon, and they were all available now, that's the difference. It's the availability. You may well find people were starting to choose something other than a Stern machine, basically. Right, just a couple of other things before I go, because it's been an hour. A massive thank you to Alan for Alan and Alfie came over and they brought monsters with them, so that's been great. Again, as a Stern machine, undervalued,
underrated.
Thanks, mate. Yeah,
yes.
Good. Really good
under
fun
the playfield. Yeah,
really good, really good fun game. Really enjoyed playing that. I have the kids have enjoyed playing it as well. Got some nice features, fun. It hasn't got the depth. I think they could give that another lease of life. I think they did another code for there. I just got a very clever code. I know, obviously, sadly Lyman Sheets has passed away. I know he'd gone to CGC anyway, but a clever coder like that who could maybe get another couple of levels, just changing the order you hit things and stuff like that. Another, they could give that another lease of life. But there's some good shots on that Monsters game. As good are orbits as I've noticed in some time, actually. Really, really rewarding. They just feel very, very good to hit, actually. So that's been great. Really enjoyed that. And Alan as well. Of course, he popped over with Alfie, and it was only a fuse. He came over to fix.
No.
Yeah.
Mind you, you don't keep an awful lot of spares like that around, do you?
I don't. But hopefully, I think we had a nice day because they came over. We played plenty of pinball. They really love playing Dolly Parton. She is, yeah. And I mean, honestly, game after game after game on Dolly Parton, it got played 10 times more than anything else. As you know, so funny.
Dolly.
when Marcus came over as well. Marcus came over, who's not a pinball player. He said, another game, because it's just non-pinball players, particularly like Marcus coming over. He got it straight away and he knew what he had to do. He could see, because he's competitive as well. He knew what he had to do to beat me, and it was competitive. They were close, so that was great. But having a World Cup soccer here, really pleased I've experienced that game actually. It's really good, and then you need to play it before it goes back.
Yeah, I will.
You only had one game on it, but and then the fuse blew. It's really good, Spence and Jakey.
I did enjoy that one game that I had on it. I mean, so I will be our roving reporter for a little while. I'm going to try and find some pinballs while I'm away. I'm disappearing down under, as Davey would say.
He probably doesn't. He probably just says home. He probably says home.
He probably does say home, yeah, which could be confused with East London or Australia, really. But there you go. So yeah, I will send some snippets of video. I shall be nosing around and seeing if I can find some pinballs, and we'll find some pinball venues over there. If anybody is over there, yeah, drop me a line. I know Australia's a big place, but I'm going all over. I'm going to Melbourne and Adelaide and Sydney and all over the shop. So if anybody
name me some other places, Spence.
That's about it at the moment.
I just wondered if you knew any. I know you don't.
I'm going down to. I'm just trying to think. Is it Bateman's Bay? Anyway,
are you going to Western Australia?
No, I'm not. I'm not going over to Perth this time. But yeah, if anybody in Australia does watch us and they've got some information on where I can go and play some pinball, leave a couple of comments in there, and I'll see if I can follow it up.
Yeah, be nice. Couple of Aussies. I'm sure will be watching this channel. It's just whether it's a big old place. It's just whether they're
absolutely, yeah.
Whether they're in Platypus Cove at the time when you are, Spence. That's
yeah.
It is a place. It is a place. I haven't made it up, by the way. Anyway, thank you very much for tuning in. Sorry, it's been such a long time since the upload. We do have a lot of stuff to upload soon, so we've got a nice backlog of stuff which will be coming. I know some of our
backlog.
Some of our notifications haven't been coming up because people have said so. I think the second versus game we did, Spencer, which was the first a quick game of doubles. The first one was Dolly Parton. Oh no, sorry. The first one was, what was the first one? Was Fishtail. Second one was Dolly Parton. A lot of people said they didn't get the notification for that. I don't know why that happened, but just if you are subscribed and you don't want to miss a video, you might want to miss a video. But if you don't want to miss a video, when you're on there and it says subscribe underneath the screen, there's a bell next to it. So make sure you press the subscribe button and hit the bell, and it will notify you when we've uploaded. There we go. I think that's about it. Please don't forget to vote for Davey and Vimto Man in the Twipys, which is the link is in the description below. Don't forget to get signed up to Pinball Republic as well if you want to go and get a game on not just normal standard James Bond, but extra special 60th only 500 made James Bond. Wonder who gets. I wonder if they've charged. Do you reckon they were sneaky? You know, so it says like 1 out of 500, 2 out of 500. Well, it actually says 001 out of 500. I wonder.
Oh, 007 will be worth a lot more money.
Yes. Do you reckon they just let it go out like a Wonka bar with the gold ticket in it?
No,
let it go out randomly?
I would imagine that they have gone to people.
You think
have been chosen?
Larry Stern took that for himself.
Yeah, Gary Stern. Yeah, I think it happens a lot with cars. I mean, I drive an Alpine, which is an Alpine A110, and when they do limited editions of those, any that are numbered 110 are very sought after. But they always seem to go to people that have bought an awful lot from Alpine.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got the Ford Transit. And mine's a 315, and it's got nothing relevant at all to do with anything what we're saying.
I've got the dog hounding me at the moment. Right,
there you go.
I better scoot because I think
we're gonna scoot. See you later. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch up with you very, very soon.